Kashi can become the center for excellence in education. Education is the lifeblood of any particular country, and until unless we nurture, we promote, and we make education as the number one mission of any particular country, the country cannot grow, the country cannot progress, the country cannot lead the world. We do not want leadership in terms of arms and ammunition. We do not want leadership in terms of other particular amenities, but we want leadership in knowledge. We want leadership which can create a world guru which tells us how better models can be evolved than the Western models, which have created so many other problems also, both ecologically, climate-wise, and other particular divide within the society. In order to bridge these, we need management experts, we need people from all walks of life to create a better environment which can be sustainable, which can be development oriented, but has development of the lowest strata at its peak. Management, unfortunately, needs to have a new path. The new path that we need to focus on is that how management can improve the quality of life of the lowest person in the country. Until unless that is done, it's easy to say it, but very difficult to implement it, because we are still not able to have the data analytics on the basis of which we can say what are the touch issues which have to be addressed by the management experts. Most of the management theories that have been circulated, that are being currently used, are those which are an add-on or grafted from foreign concepts. There are certain nascent attempts at creating local management ethos, but they have not been able to come into the mainstream and become the main focus of our management operations. India needs a strong area in terms of management of resources, whether it is agricultural resources, whether it is our natural resources in terms of mineral and other particular things. And the most important resource that we have, and we should be proud of it, is the human resource. Unfortunately, that is one thing which can be modeled, which can be molded, which can be shaped through only one process, and that is education. Therefore, until and unless we create a structure, we create a resonant model for new education policy. There have been 3 new education policies since our independence, and we still are lacking in terms of creating an education system that is suited, developed, rooted, and basically survives in the Indian ethos. We cannot have transplanted management systems, we cannot have transplanted educational philosophy, we cannot have transplanted learning theories. Then the whole world learned about learning, education, knowledge dissemination from us way back in 15th or even 14th century. There is a large legacy of knowledge which we need to harness, which we need to understand, and which we need to transform, adopt, and adapt to the present circumstances. May I request all those who are present to continue this dialogue, and not only on a day, but must be a continuous stream of thoughts. There must be a continuous evolution of our own ethos in terms of education, education philosophy, education management, education survival, and in terms of, I'm talking of education survival because there are lots of technological disruptions that are going to challenge the conventional concept of institutions, the conventional concept of universities, and the conventional concept of what is institutionalized framework of education. We need to transcend that. We need to understand that those particular things, challenges, are going to be met by no one else but the local educationists and local people who have devoted their life, and are proposing to devote their life in the process of education. Once again, I welcome all of you to this particular exchange forum of ideas, but would like to have that there is a continuous network, continuous dialogue, and continuous sharing of ideas of how we can move from better to even best and how we can excel in the area of education for technical as well as for other particulars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such an influential message. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are very fortunate to stand among many gems of the academic and industrial world at RSMT. May I have the opportunity to call upon a personality with these few lines. खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे, खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे, बता तेरी रजा क्या है. Yes, the Iron Man Professor N.K. Singh has been our management advisor with UNDP headquarters in New York and studied key issues in performance, including human resource development and institutional effectiveness in the sub-Saharan countries. As a management advisor with International Civil Aviation Organization, he did research and consultancy during 89 to 91 for the governments of Tanzania, Ethiopia and Malawi, besides working at ICAO headquarters, Montreal. On UNDP project, he developed 2 management courses and taught MBA students at Bishop International Business School, Kyrgyzstan. Prior to 1981, he worked in the public sector steel industry, SAIL, for 2 decades and was actively associated with productivity and management movement. He was chairman, Management Development Institute of Professor of Organizational Behavior. He was chairman, International Airport Authority of India from 1986 to 89 and member of the board of Air India and Indian Airlines. He is the founder and former president of Foundation for Organization Research and Education, FORE, and its School of Management in Delhi. He also headed the Planning Commission of India's Task Force on Self-Managed Institutions for Integrated Development in the year 1992. He was a part-time chairman, National Shipping Board, Ministry of Surface Transport. He was conferred honorary professorship by Morton Institute of Management, Brisbane, Australia. He had been the member of the board and professor at Brussels School of Management, Brussels for Masters in Cross-Cultural Management. He is an author of 12 books on management, 3 poetry books, and an organizational novel, besides a number of research papers. He has also authored a book on Eastern and cross-cultural management, and we are happy to tell you that this book has been prescribed by AKTU in the postgraduate courses. I request Professor N.K. Singh to present this book to Honorable VC Sir. May I now request Professor N.K. Singh for the keynote of the program. Welcome, sir.
I must prove the mother I have done enough. You don't have to tell him. You cooking है. I tell you when you are Honorable Vice Chancellor,
Shri Dr. Singh, and my old friend and associate Dr. Kak, who is now in the saddle, which I used to be once in a long time back. It looks like as if it is 100 years back. So I welcome him, and I hope he will bring new enthusiasm and new vigor to this institution. And I had not become so old, so that's why I proved that I can stand. Now Dr. Kak says not necessary to stand, do other things also. So good, I try to present some ideas which may stir some minds here. And I wish to release this paper to the press and international field, where I am saying that what kind of direction we should take in technical education. Some thoughts. These may not be the profoundest thoughts, but these are some thoughts which are different and maybe original in some respect. Pardon? Anybody asking? No. First of all, I think the scenario of management education and technical education in the country is changing fast. Now, if change is fast now, is going to be faster in the times to come, because the economic growth of the country is linked to your education system, especially technical system, which is concerned with providing the technical skills and management skills to the developing industry and the structure of economy in any country. So, if 7% growth takes place, the scenario is likely to change, and it will change very fast, because today 200 technical institutions have been closed. Many more may be locked, which I have not got the statistics for, and the situation is really not down, but is grim. And we are sure to come up. The future tells us that with this growth, the education, especially technical, will pick up, and will pick up very fast. We have to meet the future challenge. That's one point which we have to keep in mind in any discussion which we have. Presently, we have about 700 universities. It said 642, but it may be 1,000 or more, as Dr. Kak says. And I have with me the statistics of the Government of India, which also says that AICTE recognized institutions are 6,214, and there are further 11,356, according to the terminology which I read first time, is standalone institutions. So this will provide about 2.5 million students to be in any time in any institution attending some sessions for the education purpose, out of which 1.5 million would be available every year for jobs. So this is a challenge for the market itself, employment and employability. This brings me to the next very important question which I want to share, since Dr. Singh, our Vice Chancellor, is also here, and so many experts and professionals are here. I want to say what we can do to ensure that the inputs are right and we are able to meet the challenge. Because at present, we are very much short of faculty. We are not able to get faculty even for universities. Central universities, 3 of them are with only 17% of faculty on board. And other universities, for LI study, I found that they are not, they are around 70% or 80%. 20% shortage is in most of the technical institutions, and faculty as well as the directors are in demand, but we don't have enough in this country. This I was first referring to, if we have growth, as we are talking of, then where will we find the technical, the qualified people to teach and train the students? This is a challenge which the government has to gear itself in a very serious manner. Plus, there comes the point that whatever you are teaching, whatever you are producing, the product, is it worth? Is it meeting the ends of the economy? Is it contributing to what an employer says is employable? Here there are many studies. You must have read in newspapers. I wish to challenge those studies, that they say that about 97% are not employable and only rest are employable. It's a very small number which is employable according to these studies, which have been quoted even by Economic Times, one of the academic institutions. So I think we have to take it with a pinch of salt. The employable term itself is amenable to many interpretations. What is employable? What do you mean by employable? Is it that who gets only IIM graduate or IIT graduate salary? Or if he gets less, they say no, he's not employable. It's not the interpretation. So I am very doubtful about these studies, and I challenge the validity of these studies which have shown that only a small percentage of the students which we turn out are employable, rest 70, 90%, 80% are not employable. For example, in non-metro cities like Varanasi, we had at RSMT 70% people on placement. If they are 70% on placement and they are most of them in campus placement, there is a demand, there is a